Right, so did you know that I'm actually married? That's right, I'm married to the game because today we are back for another Am I the A-hole video. Let's go.
What a wonderful day!
And this one is wedding themed, hence the little play on words at the start. I'm of course not actually married. I actually don't know if I'm human enough to legally get married. One for the bureaucrats to decide, I guess. Anyway, I digress. Let's jump straight into it. All right, first up, am I the a-hole for not going to my twin's wedding? Why not? So I, a 24-year-old male, have an identical twin who I'm guessing is also 24. Quick maths. We're not close, but I thought we had basic mutual respect. That belief was tested. I grew up in a traditional southern town and only began coming out in college about 5 years ago. It's been slow, especially with family, but since moving to DC in 23 for school and work, I felt more comfortable living authentically. I'm glad to hear, my friend. After moving, I met my boyfriend, a 26-year-old male, and we've been together for 2 years. Over time, I've introduced him to friends and family when I felt safe. Cut to November 24, a classic month. I was home for the holidays and told my twin and his fiancée about my boyfriend. They seemed happy for me. Isn't that nice? While staying with them, wedding details arose and they asked if I'd be bringing a date. I said yes, my boyfriend. My twin had gone to bed, but his fiancée said, while there are pros and cons, it's up to you if you want to bring him. That felt like a green light. My twin constantly deferred to her on decisions, so I didn't think I needed to double check. So 5 months pass, my boyfriend and I have spent $1,300 on travel, flights, hotels, etc. And 3 weeks before the wedding, I mentioned on a call with my brother that we were all set. His tone shifted. Oh, is your boyfriend actually coming? I mean, I bet he is. Come on.
Yes! Yes!
I reminded him of the convo with his fiancée. He said she never gave me permission and accused me of making it up. Then said, we can't allow your boyfriend to come. We worry how dad's side will react. I offered to call dad on the spot. He dodged, saying that he'd check with his fiancée, despite just saying it was his decision, and an hour later, no change. I was still invited alone, still expected to buy groomsman match suiting, even though I wasn't in the party, and show up smiling. That's when I snapped. I asked, if I didn't invite your fiancée to my wedding, would you still come? He couldn't answer and ended the call after some harsh words. Made him think there. This comes up quite a lot in these types of stories, and it's like, do you really need someone to be like, how would you feel if you were in my shoes, for you to be like, oh yeah, that would kind of suck. This feeling of, what do you call it, empathy that you're giving me, it's not fun. Anyway, trying to make things right, I came out to my dad, which I feared for years, to explain the situation. He was surprisingly indifferent and even said uninviting my boyfriend was extreme, no way. He offered to talk to extended family, and I thought I was removing the main obstacle. However, weeks later, my twin called again. He now claimed our friends would be weirded out, so the excuse shifted, and I said, if my boyfriend's not invited, I'm not coming. He didn't budge. I think excuse is the right word here. A bit unfair on everyone else as well, because he's kind of painting them out to be potentially homophobic and problematic when he's projecting. It's him. Or maybe it's not homophobia. Maybe it would be the same either gender. Maybe they're identical twins and he's like, I don't want someone else coming to the wedding that knows what my knob looks like. Because I'm pretty sure that's how it works, right?
Right?
Yes.
In which case, not the A-hole. No, I'm only joking. Let's continue reading. So here's the kicker. Days later, my dad told me the fiancée admitted that she did give me permission, but changed her mind when she remembered who would be there. Suspicious. She denied this to my twin. Also, one of her bridesmaids is openly gay and brought her girlfriend, but according to the fiancé, she's not part of the family, so it's different. So gay friends is fine, but gay family members is where you draw the line. That's a weird place to draw it. Perplexing. So I didn't go. I'm still wondering if I made the wrong call. My absence was noticed. I got texts asking where I was. My mum had to explain it repeatedly. So instead of avoiding attention, my absence became the story. My relationship with my twin is dead, and some family ties now feel fragile. Part of me wonders, should I have sucked it up and gone solo just to preserve the bonds that shaped my early life? Ultimately, am I the a-hole for skipping the wedding? I mean, seems like a pretty obvious no, right? Sounds like there was potentially a homophobic person or some homophobic people coming to the wedding. And so as a result, You still invited the gay guy, but said, let's not make the fact that you're gay too apparent, so keep your boyfriend at home. So essentially just saying to your twin brother on your wedding day, like, look, you can be there, but the fact that you're gay might upset people, so let's hide that part of you, shall we? Of course you have every right to turn around and be like, what? Fuck off, I'm not coming then. What do the comments say? You came out to your dad, got gaslit by your twin, got lied to by their fiance, and still tried to make peace. You did more than enough. They chose drama, not you. And he wasn't even asked to be a part of the bridal party. I think his relationship was dead long ago, or am I wrong? What is a bridal party? A bridal party is a group of friends and family who support the couple on their wedding day and assist in pre-wedding events. Right, so like the really close people. So yeah, being left out of there. Sounds like there was already an issue. But one of the bridesmaids is gay, but she isn't family, so that's okay. OP is not even in the wedding party, so why should that matter? Not the a-hole. Your brother lost a brother. You lost nothing. Glad to hear your dad was on your side. Yeah, I mean, that's a nice silver lining, but also, it's easy to say you lost nothing, but also, you kind of did. Like, not that it's your fault at all, but I think it's nice to still acknowledge, to be like, that really sucks for you. I mean, you know, you did nothing wrong and got put in a position where you had to make ties between your family members awkward, and now your relationship with your twin brother is muddied. Like, just because OP did nothing wrong here doesn't mean that's not going to suck for them, you know? Like, at the end of the day, it is family. So I feel like if I was OP reading this, I'd be like, yeah, I kind of would also like I'm sorry for your loss or troubles. Also, the bridesmaid being gay, when I was reading that, it's like some homophobic people are just homophobic towards gay men, aren't they? I mean, definitely not to say that lesbians don't also experience homophobia, but you just do get this weird type of homophobia sometimes where gay men are not okay, but lesbian women are. And even then, it's often not that they're looking at lesbians going, that's okay. They just have a different kind of gross, weird, messed up lens to see those relationships through, you know? Like, yeah, it's likely because she's lesbian. I was raised by two mums, and I can assure you homophobes are far less threatened by two women together than they are two men. The number of jokes from men about getting to be part of that threesome was gross, and many relate to them as going through a phase until they find the right guy. Perception is very different. Yeah, ugh. I think the issue is his brother is a bit repressed, and both didn't potentially want photos that looked like him that were gay. The wife probably was fine with it, but the brother was worried about jokes from his friends or people out there potentially thinking he was gay when they see the photos. The wife is now taking the blame to try and shield her husband. The twin is who doesn't want the boyfriend. I think you're probably right. I mean, might very well be right, but that doesn't mean that the twin getting married wasn't a massive a-hole for succumbing to those pathetic fears. Not the a-hole, but your twin and his wife definitely are. I agree. I'm glad you found out that your dad is at least supportive of you and your boyfriend. That's something good out of the stinking corpse of your relationship with your twin. Not the a-hole. Your brother keeps finding excuses by saying other people won't accept it when it's clear he is the one who doesn't, but won't admit to it. He may be your family by blood, but your boyfriend is who you choose to be with, and it's great you're standing by him and your relationship. Maybe the brother thinks people will question my sexuality if my identical twin who shares all my DNA is gay. Maybe he is even bi but won't admit it. I actually have friends who are twins where one is gay and one is straight, and like the idea of the straight guy being that fragile to like care at all what people, it's like unfathomable. And I mean, to feel that way is one thing, but it's even worse to be like, can you not bring your partner to my wedding as a result? So yeah, again, I mean, sucks that your relationship with your twin is dead, but sounds like he's a bit of a loser anyway. So yeah, ultimately, your twin and his fiance are, but you are not the a-hole. Oh, and by the way, let's keep score again. So that is 1-0 to the NTAs. Let me know at the end your score and what you disagreed or agreed with me on. All right, next up. Am I the a-hole for refusing to leave a wedding because I wore a dress that looks white under a black light? So a few months ago, I attended a close friend's wedding with my husband. I wore a yellow dress. Think like Belle in Beauty and the Beast yellow. Bumblebee yellow. Okay, right, that is very yellow. So yellow, in fact, that I did not question if it was appropriate or not to wear to a wedding, and neither did my friends nor family. I arrive at the wedding, we have the ceremony, the cocktail hour, the dinner, and the reception, and I get many compliments on the dress, and the bride even comments on how much she loves it several times. Towards the end of the reception, the venue dimmed the lights and turned on some black lights. These black lights made my dress appear more white than yellow. A member of the wedding party approached me while the black lights were on and stated that I needed to leave because my dress was white and inappropriate. I stated that the dress was yellow, but the black lights were making it appear white. The member of the wedding party stated that if I didn't leave, she would make me. I stated, I'm here to celebrate my friend, repeated that the dress was yellow, and said I would not be leaving early. The bride and groom hadn't left yet, and I came from overseas. The conversation, while heated, did not have raised voices or foul language from either side, but I will say it was tense. I mean, yeah, like saying that they will make you, that sounds aggressive. Like that's a violent statement. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, if I was having a wedding and I found out one of the guests was going around saying leave or I'll make you, I'd be like, let's kick that person out. The wedding party member walked off and I watched as they immediately went to talk to the groom, angrily pointing in my direction. The groom shrugged and continued to dance. Oh, that's so embarrassing for the party member. Just going up to dob them in like Randall from Recess and being told to piss off, basically. What a little nerd grass that didn't get their way. That's so satisfying. Them just being a massive Karen and going to complain to the groom and him just being like, I don't care. What the fuck is wrong with you? I'm dancing on my wedding. You leave me alone. Also, I feel like if it's gotten to the point where the lights are down, everyone's dancing, probably had a few drinks, everything else has happened, even if there was a dress that looked pure white under that light, it's like, who's going to care at that point? The next morning, I was approached by a different friend at breakfast, not in the wedding party, who stated that they heard what happened and that I should have left when asked because it made people uncomfortable and that I made it about me partying rather than respecting wedding etiquette. Oh, I mean, not that the groom had to, because like not his place, like you don't want to be dealing with that kind of stupid drama on your wedding. But I kind of wish that the groom had come over and just been like, by the way, no one has an issue with that. I don't. I mean, I wouldn't want to speak on her behalf, but get confirmation and then say that the bride has no issue with this at all. Don't worry about it. Just so if something like this happens or they come up again, be like, don't worry, I've had a conversation with the people that are getting married, including the bride, who is the only person that should really care about this, and they're chill. Don't worry about it. Nice, I guess, for you sticking up for the bride, but she's cool with it. Let's have a good night. Now step aside, Arthur Hill's playing and I need to shake my ass. Anyway, I've felt incredibly embarrassed about this since, so am I the asshole for not leaving the wedding when asked? I mean, if the bride had asked, I'd still be saying that the bride is an asshole for caring that much, but I'd at least partly understand the argument. But from someone who's just at the wedding, like, bro, why do you care that much? And also, as if they're treating them like this, like, how could you possibly know what your dress is gonna look like under black light? I cannot imagine a reasonable person being like, I would expect you to check your yellow dress under black light just in case to see what it looks like. Like, obviously not. I mean, if you were wearing a dress that you knew had like nut or saliva on it, and you knew it was going to glow and everyone would be mad and uncomfortable, I'd be like, yeah, you probably should, at that point you should leave. And like, maybe you shouldn't have worn that to their wedding on the off chance that there was a black light. But thinking in advance, will this yellow dress look kind of white under that light? Like, oh my goodness, obviously not. Oh, we've got a link to a similar dress as well. Let's see how yellow this is. That is just, I mean, there is no way on earth you'd wear something like that and think for a second that it's not gonna look yellow the whole time. Like, it wouldn't even cross your mind. Also, the most controversial thing seemed to be the Blacklight dance party at this wedding. It was the last hour or so and was just a way to have fun. It was not as weird or tacky as people are making out to be. Exactly, like, hits midnight, dance floors popping, pull out some black lights. Totally fine in my opinion. I did events catering for like 4 years. When I was at uni, events catering was my job when I was home for the summer. And I've seen a lot of very classy, lovely weddings and a lot of very tacky ones. And I would definitely not put having a blacklight bit on the dance floor as in a tacky category. Not even close. All right, let's see what the comments say. Not the a-hole. Who checks their attire under black lights to see if it passes? Ridiculousness. I mean, where would you even get one? If I wanted to test my clothes, I wouldn't even know where to begin. Am I going to go to B&Q to get it or something? Ludicrous. Bloody ludicrous. I understand if it appeared white under normal lights, but come on. This was an unusual situation at the end of the reception. You are fine, and whoever approached you was completely and utterly out of line. Some people have nothing better to do than look for problems that don't exist. Not the a-hole. Did the bride even care? That's what I was wondering. Like, if not, no one should care. Sounds like friends making pointless drama, considering they went to the groom and not the bride. Well clocked, actually. Great point. And if the bride cared, the groom would have known. You might give the bride a call and explore. If she was offended, apologise and explain. It's up to her to accept it or not. I mean, it's not like your dress was white during the ceremony. I've seen the bride and groom since and they acted completely fine and normal. I was too scared to bring it up, but if they were really mad, I don't think they would be the types to reach out and hang out. You're nicer than me because I'd be spilling all that tea. Yeah, I'd be sitting there going like, you know, your mate, Peter and Janet, God, they were bloody jarring. They had a go at me over this. How stupid is that? And I bet they would just be like, yeah, they're always like that. But you know, they're my auntie and uncle, so I had to invite them. But yeah, sorry about that. And then you could know for sure. Oh, let them enjoy the wedding for their wedding now. This is tea for like a year later. Remember that thing? It would be funny then. That's actually a really good point. You don't want to have a wedding, which is like the highlight of your life, or at least one of them, and then immediately have people being like, I had a terrible time because someone was being a Karen to me. You're like, fuck off. Can you just be positive about it for a little while? Just like, let's enjoy it. Let's at least have our honeymoon first. Tell us once we're over the high of the celebrations. Not the a-hole. Yellow is not white. And unless they specifically told people not to wear anything that appears white under blacklight, then it's on them. That's also kind of true. Like if it's their wedding and they know that there's going to be a blacklight there, and they know, I mean, would you even think about that either? No one is having a blacklight and being like, what if a dress looks white under it? It's actually just such a non-issue, isn't it? Info, because I'm nosy. Has the bride or groom said anything to you? In my opinion, if they're okay, then I don't get the friends causing issues. No, I've seen them since and neither of them said anything about it. I'm trying to take a generous view and say the bridesmaid was just being protective and doing what she thought was right. Also, it was a bridesmaid. Let's be honest, the bridesmaid was drunk and behaved badly. That's the thing, she didn't appear overly inebriated. Oh, so she's just a meddling jerk who can't even blame it on the alcohol. Yeah, I think that summarizes it nicely. I think the person who wore the dress, not the a-hole, the meddling bridesmaid, massive a-hole. And that is 2-0 to the not the a-holes. I feel like we need a better name for them. All right, next up. Am I the a-hole for laughing at my stepson and ruining his wedding? So for context, I've been married to my husband for just over 20 years. We started dating when my stepkids were 5 and 3. Our kids are Adam, 28, stepkid number 1, Ben, 26, stepkid number 2, Charles, 20, David, 17, and Ellie, 13. I have forgotten all of that information immediately. That went in my eyes and out my head. Why is there not a saying for the in one ear out the other for reading? Or do you say it and I'm being too literal? Anyway, Adam is getting married at the end of summer to his fiancée Alice, 26. That's Adam, 28, stepkid number 1. Okay. We have all been very excited for them. All of the kids have roles for the wedding. Charles is the best man, the other 2 boys are groomsmen, and Ellie is a junior bridesmaid. Last weekend we had a dinner for my husband's birthday. All of the kids attended along with Alice. The topic of the wedding came up again, and this is where it started to go downhill. Ellie brought up that she was so excited to go dress shopping and that we planned to go to a bigger city in a few weeks to get her a dress and me as stepmom with a groom dress. At that, Alice looked at Adam sideways and responded that we only needed to worry about one dress, Ellie's. Ellie kind of laughed and said, "What are you expecting mum to wear? A suit?" Alice responded with, "My name isn't going. You know we are keeping our guest list very limited to only family and a few close friends." What? Adam and Alice have been to our house numerous times for holidays, dinners, just to say hi since they've been engaged, and this has never been brought up. And what a way to bring it up in front of everyone indirectly like that. Pretty quickly things escalated. The Cliff Notes version is that Charles asked them to clarify if they were choosing to uninvite me now or if I was never invited. Alice confirmed the latter. Why? Adam says it's because I'm not his mum. That is so sad. I mean, you've been in the mother role since he was what, 5? Yeah, since he was 5 and he's 28 now. 23 years she's been married to the husband and essentially been in that, like, you know, I get different people see them as filling that different motherly roles differently, but still at least in that motherly capacity in some regard. That's such a brutal line to deliver. I mean, obviously we don't know everything. She could have been like the abusive, evil, tyrannical stepmother, in which case obviously Adam's totally entitled to be like, well, I don't really want you there, but barring that, if it's just because she's not the biological mum, what the Charles, David and Ellie argued with Adam and Alice that none of them were going to go if I wasn't invited. Oh, that's so sweet, all of them standing up for her. That it was cruel to leave me out given I've been his parent for the majority of his life and loved him like my own. My husband and I admittedly sat there for a minute, just fucking shocked. Quite rightly, I mean, the fact that all the other kids immediately stood up for her means that any suspicions that she was an evil stepmother have gone straight out the window. And they're like, sometimes you'll hear a story where the step parent is really mean to the step kid and doesn't treat them as part of the family like they treat the actual kids. But the fact that she's been like, I loved him like my own, also just makes any suspicion that might have been the case go out the window as well. I mean, obviously people can say things, but I'm really not doubting it. Although let me know if you guys are. I'm interested to hear why. But yeah, Charles, David and Ellie arguing back with Adam and Alice must have been such a nice relief from being like, God, I'm all of a sudden feeling excluded from this family, to being like, oh wow, the core of the family are really sticking up for me here. The core, of course, meaning just a big chunk of the family itself, rather than any difference of importance due to the biological nature of the children. I'm over-explaining, but I thought it was necessary. Adam finally turned to my husband and said, well, my husband told him he wouldn't be going either. Adam then turned to me and asked if I was really going to let everyone ruin his wedding on my behalf. Here's where I might be the a-hole. I just laughed. I don't know what came over me, but the entire thing was just so ridiculous that laughing was the only thing that I could get out. I told my husband I'd be waiting in the car and left, and then promptly bawled my eyes out. That's so sad. That does not even make you out. Like, of course you're going to laugh. It's such a stupidly ridiculous situation. The fact that Adam and Alice just thought as well that they could just drop this news in front of everyone like this and expect everyone to just be okay with it and not be like, what's wrong with you? Anyway, Charles, David and Ellie are not talking to Adam. Quite right. Adam called my husband yesterday to try and smooth things over. He was still adamant I'm not invited and it's their wedding. He also requested I apologise for laughing at him. My husband told him tough shit. Oh, it's actually quite nice. Like, we do so many of these things where the husband or boyfriend and stuff are just so like weak and won't stand up for their partner. For the husband to be standing up for her this much is like, it's such a relief to see. It's their wedding and they can invite whoever they want, but they can't control who will actually go. He said they owe me an apology and that Adam should be ashamed of himself. Oh my God, Cook. Too right. I'm getting texts now asking what the hell I did and why I'm being a step monster and ruining the wedding. Am I the a-hole? Like, you actually haven't done anything. Everyone else has realised that this is a really fucked up situation and that you're getting treated awfully and they're standing up for you. That doesn't make you a step monster. That doesn't make you anything. I mean, you haven't done anything. All the actions that the groom is upset with are other people sticking up for you. Probably because they're making him realise like, oh shit, they're right. But he's doubled down. Like, fine, you know everyone thinks that it's fucked up. If you're doubling down on something that everyone thinks is fucked up, you're gonna have to live with the consequences.
Actions always have consequences.
All right, let's see what the comments are saying. I feel like there's a lot missing here. You've been married to his dad since he was 5 I thought. But that was years of elementary, middle, high school and college. 20 years. Is his mother living? Did his fiance influence him? Just seems odd to not invite his dad's wife of 20 years and call her not family. I don't think you're the a-hole, but I just want to know more about the past 20 years. I'm sorry, says OP. I had to cut out a lot for the character count to post. When Adam called, my husband did ask him if I'd done anything, if it was related to the biological mother, she has never gotten along with us, or if I'd overstepped in any way. But Adam says no, it's just that they want family only. Stepdad is invited as far as we know. What the fuck? So that immediately undermines it. I was a stay-at-home mum for most of my stepkid's childhood and we had 50-50. My husband has always worked a lot but has been as involved as possible. The house and child rearing mostly fell to me though. I love our kids to pieces. I thought we had made it clear from the beginning that I am or was another parent that loves them, not a replacement mum. We've never had any issues and I thought up until now that we were particularly close. Our communication has slowed since he met Alice, but he was calling me about once or twice a week prior to this. Alice and I have gone shopping on occasion, gotten lunch, and I even went with her to the florist for the wedding because her mum wasn't available and Adam got called into work. There has to be something or someone causing an issue, and my husband and I are baffled. I mean, that's kind of even more insane, like inviting her to the florist for the wedding and then not inviting her to the wedding. Why? I mean, did she say something horrendously offensive at the florist? I mean, maybe it's got to be something related to the biological mother. She's never gotten along with us. Could she be at the heart of all of this? Wow. I'm getting texts now asking WTF I did and why I'm being a step monster and ruining the wedding. You should answer those texts with, they announced that I was never invited to the wedding and other people then said that they wouldn't attend if I wasn't invited. I said nothing and did nothing whilst that was going on. I can't ruin something if I'm not a part of it. You need to talk to Adam and Alice. I would literally copy and paste that and send it to people. Yeah, you aren't ruining their wedding. They picked this hill to die on, not you. You are absolutely not the a-hole. And kudos to your husband for backing you up all the way. I mean, like, literally a laugh is all you've done, and even then, it was so valid. And yeah, you would have been valid for like bursting into tears at the spot. That's such a brutal thing to hear in front of everyone, and like, especially when it's that perplexing, when you're like, I've been kind of like a mother to you, not as a replacement mother, but like an additional parent that's loved you and supported you and never done anything wrong. And now all of a sudden, because I'm not a blood relative, I'm not being invited to this wedding that is like a core thing in this family. Like, I couldn't be I have no role like that in any kind of, and I feel sad thinking about it. Counsellor here, do not apologise for laughing. Your sudden burst of laughter was actually the seeping of hysteria laughter. Totally appropriate. It's what can happen when we're traumatised. Yeah, I mean, the shock and the almost like, what the hell is actually going on? Like, is this real? I can imagine laughing as well. Absolutely not the a-hole. Assuming you and Adam have gotten along fine until now, it's absolutely wild that they wouldn't invite you. Only family and a few close friends, when a step-parent literally counts as family. And the nerve to accuse you of ruining his wedding. I don't blame you for laughing. It's probably also relevant, but my husband's parents are long since deceased. My parents, dad, stepmom and mum, have been very involved with all of the kids since they were little. They are also not going, since if I'm not family, they aren't either. So they've been invited. So it's definitely nothing to do with not being biological family at all. My brother and sister-in-law, their daughter, my cousin, they call him uncle, and several of my other, they call him unc, and several of my other family members that have been around since stepkids were little have also dropped. There are like up to 20 people that have rescinded their yes RSVP for a wedding of maybe 60 people. That is utterly perplexing. Wait, hold up, your family was invited but not you. Then what the hell did Adam expect when it came out that you're not invited? Yeah, this makes me come to the conclusion that Biomum gave an ultimatum or something and SS is going along with it. Wait, a very stupid theory. Maybe OP is significantly hotter than Biomum and Biomum doesn't want to be shown up in the pictures somehow. I know this is dumb and basic, but I feel like I've seen these kinds of things happen before. I mean, at this point, from all the shit we've seen on Reddit, like, nothing would surprise me these days. This was absolutely my first thought. She's too pretty. This is the cleverest and most roundabout way I've ever seen anyone demand pics from OP. Yeah, I mean, God knows what was happening there, but you are not the a-hole at all for laughing. Like, you've done nothing else. And the fact that that many people are backing you up makes me so certain that you're not in the wrong. Because again, like with so many of these, you're just getting one side. And I bet loads of people massively downplay how bad they were, or they ignore or leave out parts where they were evil or did something wrong, and they massively exacerbate the other person's side of like how bad they were. But having this many people jump to the defense of OP makes me think very confidently not the a-hole. And I hope she gets to the bottom of why exactly, because not knowing would just feel really shit. Oh, there's an update. Let's go. Okay, before I give it, I just want to answer a few frequently asked questions. First, I'm not an affair partner. My husband didn't cheat on his ex-wife with me. We met about a year after they divorced. She was already engaged, not to current stepdad. Not that that really matters. Okay, not that it matters, but I can imagine people commenting being like, well, did the dad cheat on Biomum with you? In which case, that lends credence to the theory that Biomum doesn't want you there. But anyway, Ben was at the dinner. He is autistic. I went into it more in some of my comments, but he was very upset. He doesn't understand what the argument was exactly about, but he was mostly upset at Adam for saying I'm not their parent, and then at all the siblings for fighting with each other. Anyway, here's the update. The short story is, if you guessed it was related to Biomum, you were correct. I didn't want this to be the case. Adam rescheduled with Charles for Monday, citing Easter weekend, fair enough. He also texted my husband to let him know that him and Alice would be doing Easter with her parents. We expected that. At some point on Sunday, Ellie texted Alice. I'm not sure what exactly was said, but it prompted Alice to spill everything that was going on with her parents. I've met them a few times, but they live a few hours away. They encouraged her and Adam to reach out to us to clear everything up. Monday, we dropped Ben off to Biomum's. He stayed an extra night for Easter fun, and a few hours later, she began to blow up my husband's phone as Ben mentioned the fight. My husband answered one call in which she was screaming and promptly hung up. He texted her that the siblings argued, everything is fine, and that if Ben has any further questions, we'll talk about it when he's back with us. From some of the things she texted, we knew that she was the root of all this. Monday, Adam also met up with Charles, and he did come clean. Charles texted us to see if it was okay if they came over after, and we said yes. I'm not gonna lie, Adam looked a mess. He immediately began crying and apologising. No way. The short and sweet is that he's been trying to mend bridges with Biomum. Their wedding isn't 60 people, it's blown up to about double that, and they've been struggling to figure out how to pay for it. At one of their visits, Alice let it slip, and Biomum jumped to help pay for things. It slowly snowballed from there, from small requests to big requests. I'm not sure what the final nail in the coffin was, but it ended with Biomum requesting I not be there. Adam said it was easier to hurt me than risk World War III with his mum. That is so shit, but kind of what people suspected. Alice's parents were less than pleased to find out how they've been with the wedding and budget, and even less so at Biomum's antics. They're trying to figure out how to start covering the payments Biomum has made. We've decided to help with some of this. Adam has also asked if we can meet again in a few days with Alice, and we've said yes. There's still a lot of ground to cover for this to be close to be mended. I'm still hurt, but mostly I'm angry on behalf of my oldest son. I mean, on the topic of the husband being nice and standing up for OP, what a coward for Adam to bend like this, to be willing to hurt someone that was essentially a mother to you. Or I don't know how to really explain this relationship, but I hope you guys know what I mean. Because like they said, it wasn't like the stepmom was a replacement mum, it was an additional parent who loved them. But anyway, you know what I mean. To be like someone that was there for me for 20 plus years, I'm going to throw them under the bus and not invite them to my wedding and exclude them from this lovely family event. And not even say why, just kind of be like, you're not invited. Oh, and it's because you're not a biological mother. I mean, first of all, what a shit reason. What a shit reason to have to hear why you're not invited. But also to be covering for your biological mum, who evidently is insane. I feel like he has a lot of making up to do, and especially now, to help mend things, they're now paying for the wedding in part themselves. What do the comments say? You and your husband, though your offer to pay is generous, shouldn't let Adam or Alice off the hook this easily. Exactly. In his own words, it was easier to hurt you than starting World War III with his mum. It was easier for him to invite every single person you love and care for, expecting them to betray you and humiliate you, than it was for him to realise his mum's manipulation and ask for help elsewhere. Not even just financial help, but emotional help. He would rather have had you sit alone and abandoned than take responsibility for their own bad planning and allowance for his mum's behaviour. And when you didn't accept it, when your loved ones didn't accept it, rather than admit that he was wrong or come clean or anything remotely sane, he and his soon-to-be wife began cussing you out as if you had done anything to them but be kind. I hope you get a chance to begin healing, but you won't get there if you and your husband don't acknowledge the very real hand and responsibility that Adam himself had in letting the situation play out. Just jumping in now with money and immediate forgiveness will just be a band-aid, not actually healing the situation. I couldn't have said it better myself. Biomum evidently nuts, but Alice and Adam just placated her way too much. There needs to be some more serious conversations here. But for now, OP, you are, beyond all reasonable doubt, relinquished of any blame, not the a-hole. Biomum, however, massive a-hole. Adam and Alice, kind of a-hole. In fact, not even kind of. A-hole. Which means for the main characters at least, it's a clean 3-0 to the not the a-holes. And there are a lot of side characters sitting in the a-hole bin. Maybe we should start counting them too at some point. It might get a little confusing to keep up with, but maybe I can. If you want me to, let me know. But for now, I hope you enjoyed this wedding special edition of Am I the A-Hole? If you did, please feel free to subscribe down below so you can catch the next one. Again, let me know what you thought of all the posts and my opinions. Just please don't be too mean. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope to see you on the next one. Bye.